For years, the plan had always been simple. If you wanted to eliminate a powerful mob boss, you only needed to target his reserved seat at the dinner table. One well-placed shot through the restaurant window would have been enough. But on this particular night, everything changed. It was the birthday of the boss's daughter. And at the last moment, he decided to leave his usual seat and sit beneath the stage to watch her perform. An insider working inside the restaurant quickly passed the information to Joey. The operation could still be cancelled. But Joey wasn't the type of man who walked away from a contract. After more than 3 decades as a professional hitman, he had never backed down from a job. The problem was security. Every guest was searched at the entrance, and no weapons were allowed inside. Fortunately, Joey had already prepared an alternative plan. He arranged for the target to be isolated in the restaurant restroom. Through his contact, Joey secured a table reservation and entered carrying nothing more suspicious than a car key. As the boss's daughter began singing on stage, Joey moved into position. He entered the restroom, removed his jacket to keep it clean, and carefully checked every stall to make sure nobody else was present. After confirming he was alone, he put on gloves and used the key to dismantle the paper towel dispenser mounted on the wall. Now it was his accomplice's turn. A glass of wine was deliberately spilled on the boss, forcing him to leave the celebration and head for the restroom to clean himself up. The moment the target arrived, Joey struck. At the same time, the performance in the main hall reached its loudest moment, drowning out any sounds coming from behind the restroom door. Minutes later, 3 men lay dead. Joey thoroughly cleaned the weapon, concealed it inside the paper towel dispenser, reassembled everything, and calmly left the scene. Even when investigators eventually arrived, finding the murder weapon would be nearly impossible. As Joey and his contact departed, he noticed someone paying unusual attention to him. Soon afterward, he became convinced that he was being followed. One day, while stopped at a traffic light, he spotted a driver ahead subtly adjusting a rearview mirror. Years of experience immediately triggered his instincts. When the signal changed, Joey accelerated and suddenly turned into a side street. He wasn't trying to escape yet, he was testing a theory. At the next intersection, the suspicious vehicle copied his maneuver exactly. That confirmed it. Using the confusing layout of a nearby parking structure, Joey managed to lose the tail temporarily. However, he knew the situation couldn't be ignored. Back at his hotel safe house, he opened a secure safe and reviewed old files connected to past assignments. Over the years, he had made countless enemies. Any one of them could be seeking revenge. While examining a photograph of gang members, he noticed a familiar face. One of the men standing beside his most recent target was the same person he had seen watching and photographing him earlier. Before taking independent action, Joey contacted his organization. If things escalated, he would need their support to clean up the aftermath. The organization identified the man as Carl, a debt collector working for another crime family. Acting recklessly against him could spark a dangerous conflict. Joey was advised to remain patient while the organization handled the matter. Reluctantly, he agreed. Later, as he returned to his hotel room, something alarming happened. Standing at the door, he suddenly forgot the final digit of his security code. Only after a neighbor offered a reminder did his memory return. Moments after entering the room, another problem surfaced. He had forgotten his bag outside. Joey was beginning to experience the early symptoms of Alzheimer's disease. That evening, after attending a family gathering, he returned home and immediately noticed something wrong. The front door had been left wide open. Before he could investigate, a pickup truck raced past the property. It was the same vehicle that had been following him. Joey's anger exploded. He realized trusting the organization had been a mistake. Whoever was hunting him had now located his home, and his family could become the next target. Determined to act before his condition worsened, Joey used the information he had gathered to track down Carl himself. To avoid drawing attention, he chose not to use a firearm. Any death would simply appear to be another act of gang violence, keeping suspicion away from him. His goal was simple: eliminate every threat before his fading memory made the task impossible. For a while, it seemed as though he had solved the problem. Then, during a dinner outing with his daughter, disaster struck. Without hesitation, Joey rushed outside, and there it was again. The same pickup truck. This story comes from the thriller series Memory of a Killer.